The mansion had 47 rooms, but only one of them mattered. That room belonged to Liam Whitford, and he couldn't leave it without his wheelchair. He was 6 years old, with brown hair that fell into his eyes and a smile he saved for the birds outside his window. The birds could fly anywhere they wanted. Liam could only watch. His father, Adrian Whitford, owned half the city, maybe more. People said his name in whispers, the way you might talk about a king or a storm. He had enough money to buy 100 houses, 1,000 cars, or anything else you could imagine. But money couldn't make Liam walk. The doctor said Liam was born this way. Something in his body didn't work right. His legs wouldn't move no matter how hard he tried. Adrian didn't believe them at first. He flew doctors in from around the world. Men in white coats poked Liam with needles, shined lights in his eyes, and made him swallow terrible-tasting medicine. Nothing helped. The mansion felt like a museum. Everything was white marble and gold edges. Servants walked on soft shoes so they wouldn't make noise. Nobody laughed much. Nobody sang. The only sounds were footsteps echoing down long hallways and the tick-tick-tick of expensive clocks. Liam spent most days alone. His father worked in an office on the other side of the mansion, talking on phones and signing papers. Sometimes Adrian would visit in the evening, but he always looked tired and sad. He would ask the same questions. Did the therapy help today? Are you feeling stronger? Do your legs hurt? Liam would shake his head. His legs didn't hurt. They didn't feel like anything at all. At night, Liam dreamed he could run. In his dreams, he chased the birds across green fields. He jumped over streams and climbed trees that touched the clouds. Then he'd wake up, and the wheelchair would be waiting beside his bed like a prison with wheels. Everything changed the day Maya arrived. She wasn't supposed to be there. The Whitford estate had guards at the gate who checked everyone who came in. But Maya slipped through a hole in the back fence, following a soccer ball that had bounced over from the park. She was 8 years old, with dark skin that glowed in the sunlight and braids that bounced when she ran. Her clothes were old and patched, nothing like the fancy uniforms the mansion servants wore. She found Liam in the garden. He was sitting in his wheelchair near the fountain, watching water splash into a pool full of orange fish. A servant stood nearby, scrolling through her phone and not paying attention. Maya walked right up to him. Hi. I'm looking for my soccer ball. Have you seen it? Liam stared at her. Nobody ever just talked to him like that. Everyone in the mansion was always so careful, so quiet, like he might break if they spoke too loud. He said. I haven't seen a ball. Maya looked around the garden, hands on her hips. It's blue and white. It bounced really high. Maybe it went over there. She pointed toward some rose bushes. I can't look, Liam said softly. I can't walk. Maya looked at his wheelchair. She didn't make a sad face or say, I'm sorry, like adults always did. Instead, she said, That's okay. I'll push you, and you can help me spot it. For eyes are better than two. Before the servant could stop her, Maya grabbed the handles of Liam's wheelchair and started pushing him down the garden path. Liam's heart jumped in his chest. Nobody ever moved him without asking permission first. Nobody ever treated him like a regular kid. They searched behind rose bushes and under benches. They didn't find the ball, but they found something better. They found each other. Maya talked the whole time. She told Liam about her school, where the paint was peeling off the walls, but the teacher was really nice. She told him about her little brother, who could burp the alphabet. She told him about the stray cat she was trying to tame with bits of sandwich. Liam listened to every word. He felt something warm growing in his chest, something he hadn't felt in a long time. It was happiness. Do you ever leave this place? Maya asked, spinning his wheelchair in a circle just for fun. Not really, Liam said. My father says it's safer here. He's trying to find a cure for me. A cure for what? You seem fine to me. Well, except for the walking part. But that doesn't make you broken. Nobody had ever said that before. Everyone always looked at Liam like he was a puzzle that needed solving. The servant finally caught up to them. Young lady, you're not supposed to be here. I'm just visiting my friend, Maya said, like it was the most normal thing in the world. Friend. The servant looked confused. "Friend," Liam said firmly. It was the first time he'd ever stood up to anyone. Well, not stood up exactly, but his voice was strong. The servant called security, and Maya had to leave. But before she went, she leaned close to Liam's wheelchair. "I'll come back tomorrow. We'll explore more of the garden." "Okay. Okay," Liam whispered. That night, Liam couldn't sleep. His mind was buzzing with everything Maya had said. For the first time in forever, he felt excited about tomorrow. But something strange happened as he lay in bed. His legs started to tingle. Not hurt, exactly. Just tingle. Like they were waking up from a deep sleep. He tried to wiggle his toes, but they wouldn't move. The tingling got stronger, almost like electricity running under his skin. Then he felt something else. Something small and hard, pressing against the back of his left leg, just above his knee. He reached down and touched it through his pajamas. There was a tiny bump there, no bigger than a pea. He'd never noticed it before. Liam lay very still, his heart beating fast. The tingling slowly faded away, and his legs went numb again. But the little bump was still there, waiting under his skin. What was it? And why did it start acting strange right after Maya left? He didn't know it yet, but his life was about to change forever. Because Maya didn't just bring friendship into that lonely mansion. She brought questions. And questions were dangerous things in a house built on secrets. Maya came back the next day. And the day after that. And the day after that. At first, the guards tried to stop her. But Maya was clever. She found different ways into the garden every time. Through the back fence. Over the low wall by the service entrance. Once, she even climbed a tree that hung over from the neighbor's yard. Adrian Whitford finally gave up. "Let the girl visit," he told his security team. "She makes my son smile." It was true. Liam smiled more in 1 week with Maya than he had in his whole life before. They played games in the garden. Maya pushed his wheelchair fast down the paths, and Liam would throw his arms up like he was on a roller coaster. She brought him books from the library and read them in funny voices. She taught him hand-clapping games and told him jokes that made him laugh until his stomach hurt. But Maya noticed things that other people missed. "Why do you have therapy every night?" she asked one afternoon. They were sitting under an oak tree, sharing an apple Maya had brought in her backpack. "The doctors say it might help," Liam said. He didn't like talking about therapy. It made him feel weird and sleepy. "What kind of therapy?" "I don't know exactly. They put these pads on my legs. They say it sends special signals to my muscles to wake them up." Maya frowned. "Does it hurt?" "No. But I always feel strange after. Really, really tired. And sometimes my legs tingle." "Tingle how?" Liam thought about it. "Like they're buzzing. Like when your foot falls asleep, but different, stronger." Maya's frown got deeper. She was quiet for a long time, thinking hard. That night, Maya did something she probably shouldn't have done. She snuck back to the mansion after dark. The garden was full of shadows, and the mansion glowed with yellow lights from inside. Maya crept close to Liam's window and peeked in. What she saw made her blood run cold. Liam was lying on his bed. A man in a white coat stood over him. Not a kind doctor, but someone who looked like he was working on a machine, not a person. The man held a small device that looked like a TV remote. He pressed buttons on it and Liam's body jerked. His legs moved, but not in a normal way. They twitched and jumped like a puppet on strings. Liam's eyes were closed. He looked like he was sleeping, but his face was scrunched up, like he was having a bad dream. Maya's heart pounded. Something was very, very wrong. She watched until the man in the white coat left. Then she climbed down and ran home as fast as she could. But she couldn't stop thinking about what she'd seen. The next day, Maya asked Liam more questions. "Do you remember your therapy last night?" "Not really," Liam said. "I fall asleep pretty fast." "Why?" Maya chewed her lip. Should she tell him what she'd seen? She decided to wait. She needed to understand more first. "Liam," she said carefully, "can I see your legs?" Liam looked surprised. "Why?" "I just want to check something. Please?" Liam trusted Maya more than anyone else in the world. He rolled up his pajama pants. Maya looked carefully at his legs. They were thin and pale from not being used. But there was something else. On the back of each leg, just above the knee, there were tiny bumps under the skin. And around them, the skin looked a little bit pink, like it was irritated. "Do these bumps hurt?" Maya asked, touching one gently. "I don't feel anything," Liam said. "I never feel anything in my legs." But Maya felt something. The bump was hard, like metal. And when she pressed on it, Liam's foot twitched. "Did you see that?" Maya gasped. "See what?" "Your foot moved. Just a tiny bit, but it moved." Liam stared at his foot. "I didn't feel it." Maya's mind was racing. Something was buried under Liam's skin. Something that could make his legs move. But if it could make them move, why couldn't Liam walk? Unless it was doing the opposite. Unless it was keeping him from walking. Maya felt sick to her stomach. She needed proof. That night, she came back again. This time, she brought her older cousin Marcus, who was good with computers and cameras. They hid in the bushes outside Liam's window and recorded everything. The man in the white coat came at 9 o'clock, just like before. He had his remote device. But this time, Maya and Marcus saw something else. The man pulled out a laptop computer and typed on it. Numbers and graphs appeared on the screen. He was reading information from something. From the things buried in Liam's legs. Marcus zoomed in with the camera. On the computer screen, they could see words. Implant status. Active. Neural suppression. 87%. Maya didn't understand all the words, but she understood enough. Neural meant nerves. Suppression meant stopping something. The things in Liam's legs were stopping his nerves from working. Liam wasn't born paralyzed. Someone was making him paralyzed on purpose. Maya wanted to scream. She wanted to run into the mansion and shake Adrian Whitford until he explained why anyone would do this to their own son. But Marcus grabbed her arm. "We need more proof," he whispered. "We need to find out who that doctor is and why he's doing this." They followed the man in the white coat when he left. He drove to a fancy building downtown with a sign that said, Nexel Biotech Research. Marcus took pictures of everything. The next day, Maya's hands shook as she sat with Liam in the garden. "Liam," she said, "I need to tell you something. And you're not going to like it." She told him everything. About the man in the white coat. About the device. About the bumps in his legs that were really implants, tiny computers buried under his skin. About the words on the screen that said his nerves were being suppressed. Liam went very pale. "That's not possible. My father would never." "Maybe he doesn't know," Maya said quickly. "Maybe the doctors are lying to him too." But deep down, she wasn't sure. Adrian Whitford was a powerful man. How could something this big happen without him knowing? Liam's voice was small and broken. "Are you saying I could walk? If they took those things out?" "I don't know for sure," Maya said. "But I think so. I think maybe you've always been able to walk, and those implants have been stopping you." Liam started to cry. Maya had never seen him cry before. She held his hand tight. "We're going to fix this," she promised. "I don't know how, but we're going to fix this." That evening, Maya did something brave and scary. She marched right up to the mansion's front door and demanded to see Adrian Whitford. The servants tried to send her away, but she wouldn't leave. She sat on the front steps and refused to move. Finally, Adrian himself came out. He was tall and tired-looking, with gray in his hair, even though he wasn't that old. "What do you want, child?" he asked. He didn't sound mean, just exhausted. Maya stood up straight. Her voice didn't shake. "I want to know why you're keeping your son in a wheelchair when he doesn't have to be." Adrian's face went white, then red. "What are you talking about?" "The implants in his legs. The neural suppression. I have proof." For a long moment, Adrian just stared at her. Then he said, very quietly, "Come inside." They sat in his big office. Maya showed him the videos Marcus had recorded. She showed him the pictures of the Nexel building. She told him about the bumps in Liam's legs. As Adrian watched, his face changed. First confusion, then horror, then rage. "Dr. Kelvin told me those were monitoring devices," he said, his voice shaking. "He said they would help us track Liam's condition. He said they were completely harmless. They're not harmless, Maya said. They're keeping Liam paralyzed. Adrian stood up, so fast his chair fell over. Get Dr. Kelvin here. Now. Within an hour, Dr. Kelvin was standing in the office. He looked nervous. Is this true? Adrian demanded, pointing at the computer screen. Are these implants suppressing my son's neural function? Dr. Kelvin's face twitched. Mr. Whitford, you don't understand the complexity. Answer the question. The doctor's shoulders slumped. Yes. But it was for the research. You funded this project. You wanted us to develop neural control technology. We needed test subjects. Your son was convenient. And you never asked detailed questions. You just wanted results. The room went very cold. You experimented on my son, Adrian said, each word like ice. You paralyzed him on purpose. For research. The technology works, Dr. Kelvin said desperately. We can control neural signals. We can help people with real paralysis someday. Your son was contributing to science. Adrian's fist hit the desk so hard the lamp jumped. My son is 6 years old. Maya felt tears running down her face. She'd been right. Liam could walk. He'd always been able to walk. And these people had stolen that from him. Remove the implants, Adrian said, his voice deadly calm. Tonight. Now. It's not that simple, Dr. Kelvin said. The surgery. Then make it simple. Or I will destroy you. I will destroy your company. I will destroy everything you've ever built. Do you understand me? Dr. Kelvin understood. 3 hours later, Liam was in an operating room in the mansion. A different doctor, one Adrian trusted, carefully removed the tiny metal capsules from Liam's legs. Maya waited outside, holding Adrian's hand. The powerful man was shaking like a leaf. When it was over, the doctor came out holding 2 small pieces of metal, each no bigger than a grain of rice. These were embedded directly into the nerve pathways, the doctor said quietly. They've been sending suppression signals for years. Without them. He looked at Liam, who was waking up from the anesthesia. Without them, his nerves should begin normal function again. Everyone held their breath. And then, very slowly, Liam wiggled his toes. Liam wiggled his toes again. Then again. Then he started to laugh and cry at the same time. I can feel them, he shouted. Maya, I can feel my toes. Maya jumped up and down, crying happy tears. Adrian fell to his knees beside Liam's bed and hugged his son like he'd never let go. But the doctor warned them not to get too excited yet. His muscles are very weak from not being used. The nerves need time to remember how to work. He won't be walking tomorrow. This will take time, patience, and a lot of hard work. Liam didn't care. He spent the whole night wiggling his toes and laughing. For 6 years, his legs had been silent. Now they were singing. The next morning, everything changed. Adrian didn't go to his office. Instead, he called the police, the news reporters, and the biggest lawyers in the city. He told them everything about Nexel Biotech and what they had done to his son. Dr. Kelvin was arrested. So were 3 other scientists who had known about the experiment. The police searched the Nexel building and found files on 12 other children who had been given the implants without their parents really understanding what they were agreeing to. The news spread everywhere. Rich people couldn't believe that one of their own, Adrian Whitford, would turn against a company he had paid millions of dollars to. Poor people weren't surprised at all. They'd always known that rich people's science sometimes hurt regular folks. But Adrian was different now. The old Adrian thought money could fix anything. The new Adrian knew that some things were more important than money. Things like truth. And love. And doing what was right even when it was hard. I was blind, he told Maya one afternoon. They were sitting in Liam's room while Liam napped. Physical therapy made him very tired. I wanted to fix my son so badly that I didn't ask the right questions. I trusted people just because they had fancy degrees and nice offices. I thought my money made me smart. But you, a child with nothing, you saw what I couldn't see. Maya shrugged. I just paid attention. And I cared more about Liam than about science or money or any of that stuff. That's exactly right, Adrian said quietly. You cared. And caring is the most powerful thing in the world. The trial took 6 months. Maya had to testify, which means she had to stand in front of a judge and lawyers and tell her story. She was nervous, but she remembered Liam and found her courage. Dr. Kelvin tried to defend himself. He said he was helping science. He said the children would have thanked him someday. He said Adrian had known what the research involved. But the videos didn't lie. The implants didn't lie. And when 12 families stood up and talked about their children who couldn't walk or move their arms or control their hands because of Nexel's experiments, the whole courtroom cried. Dr. Kelvin went to prison for 15 years. The other scientists went too. Nexel Biotech was shut down forever. And Adrian had to pay a huge fine for not watching carefully enough over the company he'd funded. He didn't complain. He knew he deserved it. But something beautiful came from all the pain. Adrian used the rest of his money to start something new, the Maya Foundation. It was an organization that helped children who had been hurt by bad science. It paid for their medical care, their therapy, and their education. But most importantly, it asked questions. Lots of questions. It made sure that doctors and scientists could never again do experiments on children without everyone understanding exactly what was happening. Why did you name it after me? Maya asked when Adrian showed her the building with her name on it. Because you saved my son, Adrian said simply. And you taught me what real courage looks like. The foundation hired doctors and therapists and teachers. They built playgrounds and therapy rooms and gardens where children could heal. And in the middle of it all was a special room, the biggest and brightest, where Liam did his physical therapy every day. Learning to walk was the hardest thing Liam had ever done. For the first month, he couldn't even stand up. His legs shook too much. His muscles had forgotten how to hold his weight. He fell down 100 times, 1,000 times. But Maya was always there. She held his hands when he tried to stand. She caught him when he fell. She told him jokes when he wanted to give up. Remember the birds, she'd say. They don't give up when they learn to fly. They fall out of the nest and try again. Birds have wings, Liam would grumble. I have noodle legs. Maya would laugh. Noodle legs are better than no legs. Come on, try again. After 2 months, Liam could stand for 10 seconds. After 3 months, he could take 1 step. After 4 months, he could walk from his bed to the window. The day he walked all the way across the room by himself, everyone cried. The therapists, the nurses, Adrian, and Maya most of all. I did it, Liam shouted, his face glowing with joy. I walked. You sure did, Maya said, hugging him tight. I'm so proud of you. But Liam shook his head. You're the one who should be proud. You saved me, Maya. When everyone else saw a boy in a wheelchair, you saw the truth. The other children from the Nexel experiments came to the Maya Foundation too. There was Sarah, who couldn't use her hands. There was Marcus, a different Marcus, not Maya's cousin, who couldn't move his arms. There was little Emma, who was only 4 years old and couldn't walk either. One by one, they had their implants removed. One by one, they started therapy. One by one, they began to heal. Not all of them recovered completely. Some had been hurt too badly for too long. But every single one of them got better than they'd been before. And every single one of them learned that someone cared enough to fight for them. Liam became best friends with all of them. He knew exactly how they felt. When they wanted to give up, he told them his story. When they felt hopeless, he showed them his wobbly, determined walking. If I can do it, you can do it, he'd say. And they believed him because it was true. A year after the implants were removed, Liam could run. Not fast and not for very long, but he could run. He and Maya raced in the garden, and Liam laughed so hard he couldn't breathe. The mansion didn't feel like a museum anymore. Now it was full of noise and life. Children from the foundation came to play in the garden. Liam's father smiled again. The servants sang while they worked. And Maya? Maya kept coming every single day. She had her own room in the mansion now, right next to Liam's. Adrian had insisted. You're part of this family, he told her. You always will be. On the first anniversary of Liam's surgery, the Maya Foundation held a big celebration. All the children who had been hurt by Nexel came. Their families came. News reporters came. Even the mayor came. Liam stood up in front of everyone. His legs were still skinny, but they were strong now. Strong enough to hold him up. Strong enough to let him stand tall. "A year ago, I couldn't walk," he said. His voice was clear and steady. "Bad people had put things inside my body that kept me in a wheelchair. But one person saw the truth. One person cared enough to ask questions. One person was brave enough to fight for me, even when she was just a kid herself." He looked at Maya, who was sitting in the front row. Maya didn't have fancy degrees or lots of money. She just had a good heart. And that was enough. That was everything. Everyone clapped. Maya's face turned red, but she was smiling. Liam kept talking. "My dad started the Maya Foundation to help other kids like me. But really, it's about something bigger. It's about asking questions. It's about not trusting powerful people just because they're powerful. It's about caring more about what's right than about what's easy." He paused. "There are probably more kids out there right now being hurt by people who think science is more important than human beings. There are probably more doctors lying to parents. More companies doing secret experiments. And we need people to speak up. We need people to ask questions. We need people like Maya who care enough to fight." The crowd stood up and clapped even louder. Adrian stood next to his son, his hand on Liam's shoulder. "I was wrong," he said when the crowd got quiet. "I thought I could control everything with money. I thought wealth meant wisdom. But my money almost destroyed my son. It took a poor girl with nothing but courage to save him. That's a lesson I'll never forget." He looked out at all the cameras recording his words. If you're a parent, ask questions about your children's medical care. If you're a doctor, remember that patients are people, not experiments. If you're rich like I was, remember that money doesn't make you right. Listen to the people who care, even if they're young or poor or different from you. They might see what you're too blind to see. That night, after everyone went home, Liam and Maya sat in the garden under the stars. The same garden where they'd first met, searching for a lost soccer ball. "Did you ever find that ball?" Liam asked suddenly. Maya laughed. "No. I'd forgotten all about it. It's probably buried in the rose bushes somewhere." "We should look for it," Liam said. "Now." "Why not?" So they did. Liam walked slowly but steadily through the garden, using a flashlight to search. Maya dug through bushes and checked under benches. And finally, covered in dirt and half deflated, they found it. There it is. Maya held it up triumphantly. "After all this time." Liam grinned. "You came here looking for a soccer ball and found a friend instead." "I found more than a friend," Maya said. "I found out that one person really can make a difference, even if that person is just a kid." They sat on a bench, passing the dirty soccer ball back and forth between them. "Thank you," Liam said quietly, "for not giving up on me, for seeing me when everyone else just saw a wheelchair." "Thank you for trusting me," Maya said, "and for teaching me that healing takes courage. Not just for the person who's hurt, but for everyone around them." Liam looked at his legs, still weak, but getting stronger every day. "Do you think I'll ever be completely normal?" Maya thought about it. "I don't know. Maybe not. But I think maybe normal is boring anyway. You're Liam. You're strong and brave and kind. That's better than normal." Liam smiled. He looked up at the stars and thought about the birds he used to watch from his window, the birds that could fly anywhere they wanted. Now he could go anywhere too. Maybe not by flying, but by walking one step at a time. And that was enough. That was everything. This story is based on truth. Powerful people sometimes hurt the weak, but courage can stop them. If you believe every child deserves protection from harmful experiments, if you believe that asking questions can save lives, and if you believe that one person really can change the world, then share the story. Like and subscribe to spread the message that truth matters more than money, that love matters more than science, and that every child deserves someone who will fight for them the way Maya fought for Liam. Because somewhere out there, there might be another child who needs someone to ask the right questions. And that someone could be you.